The cleanliness and lack of clutter in a workplace is a direct reflection of the quality of our work and of our commitment to safety. In this program, we're discussing the steps we must take to ensure proper housekeeping. And maintaining proper housekeeping in our work areas is a responsibility we all share in. Proper housekeeping is essential for safety, for the productivity of operations, and for the quality of our products and services. We strive to be lean in our work procedures and environment, and the first step of being lean is to unclutter. Each employee has a big share in the responsibility to keep our work areas clean and uncluttered. It's not hard to do. It just takes the discipline to make good housekeeping a habit, a very good habit. Clean up scrap materials frequently throughout the day, and most definitely before you go home at the end of your shift. You should always start the day with a very clean work area. Dispose of scraps, banding, wrapping materials, shipping boxes, and other trash promptly. Clean up the sawdust around the saws daily, if not more frequently. Clean up any spills immediately. Don't leave those tasks for someone else to do. It's your job. We should not have air hoses or extension cords running across walkways. Do your best to keep the air hose close to the work table and minimize your use of extension cords. An extension cord should not be a permanent source of electricity. Permanent sources should involve conduit and outlets. As much as possible, avoid storing materials on the floor, especially near powered equipment, saws, or electrical panels. Such materials can become a trip hazard, causing you or someone else to fall, perhaps into operating machinery or saws. Keep your work area neat and organized, with a place for everything and everything in its place. There are some places that must not have anything placed in them. Those are our walkways and aisles, our stairs, and most especially our exits. We must never allow our exits to be blocked, not even for a few minutes. Blocking exits, even for a short period of time, is not safe and is a violation of OSHA regulations. Good housekeeping also applies to our work vehicles. Our truck cab should be free of clutter and debris, and we should never allow any items such as bottles or cans to be on the floor of the cab where they could possibly roll under the brake pedal. Proper housekeeping also requires that we have and maintain railings or chains at our overhead storage areas and at our loading docks. 18 inches, just 1.5 feet, whenever there is a break in elevation of 18 inches or more, we must either have a railing or chain to prevent employees from falling, or we must provide a ladder or stairway if we want employees to be able to ascend or descend that elevation. If we are installing a rail or chain to prevent people from ascending or descending the elevation break, the rail or chain must be at a height of 35 inches, and it is recommended that the rail or chain be highly visible, perhaps painted bright yellow, so as to bring extra attention to the barrier. At loading docks, the railing or chain obviously needs to be one that can be removed for loading or unloading materials. It is important that it be put back in place once that work is completed. The regulations for stairways are also very specific. Stairways must be between 30 degrees and 50 degrees in rise. Any stairway that has an incline steeper than 50 degrees or lower than 30 degrees is not compliant. The riser height and depth of tread are to be uniform, that is, equal in measurement. If the rise is 8.5 inches, the tread depth must be 8.5 inches. If there is an unprotected side to the stairs, and if the steps rise more than 30 inches, there must be a guardrail. A guardrail must be at least 35 inches in height from the tread. Similarly, stairways that have 4 or more risers, or that rise more than 30 inches, must have a handrail. Handrails must be 30 to 37 inches from the tread, and cannot be closer than 3 inches from the wall. As an employee, you probably are not going to have much to do with the construction of our stairways. However, each of you, as an employee, have an obligation to report to management any stairways, railings, or handrails that appear to you to be out of compliance or unsafe. More importantly, each of you need to remember that stairways are used to walk up or down. They are not shelves, and you should never store any items on a stairway. In this program, we also want to give special focus on ladders. Ladders are used throughout our operations, and many of you probably use ladders at home. Although we are focusing this presentation on your use of ladders at work, you should also apply these principles when using ladders at home. First, any ladder that has damaged rungs or supports or any ladders with bent or split side rails should be removed from service and tagged "Do Not Use" until they are disposed of. Portable ladders must have non-skid safety feet, and the device to lock the ladder in place must work properly. If it doesn't, tag it as "Do Not Use." You should never use a portable ladder without locking it in place. Ladders should only be used on stable and level surfaces. Should the use of a ladder be necessary where there is not a stable or level surface, the ladder must be secured or tied off to prevent accidental movement. Also, you should not place a ladder on a slippery surface. When placing a ladder, the horizontal distance from the top support position to the bottom of the ladder should be approximately 1/4 of the length of the ladder. Anything steeper or less steep than that ratio will be unsafe. When placing the ladder, the top of the ladder should extend approximately 3 feet past the top support position. This is not necessary if you're working from the ladder, but it is essential if you're using the ladder to get onto a roof or landing. Don't use an aluminum ladder when you are near any electrical hazards, and please use some common sense. Don't ever try to carry an item that is too large or too awkward to be safely carried up or down a ladder. To summarize, maintaining an organized and uncluttered work area is an essential responsibility all of us must be a part of. Doing so will help us prevent slips, trips, and falls. It will also help us be more productive, and we will all feel better about our work environment. Nobody likes to work in a mess. Organize your work area, have a place for everything, and keep everything in its place. Pick up and dispose of scrap materials frequently, and always leave the work area clean for the next shift. Spills should be cleaned up immediately. Make sure that there are railings or chains installed at any elevation change of 18 inches or more. And if you remove the chain or railing for your work, put it back when you're done. Do not place any materials on stairs, and don't use damaged ladders. Always keep the key points of ladder safety in mind: a stable, level, and non-slippery surface as a base for the ladder. The base being approximately 1/4 the length of the ladder away from the top support position, and the ladder being extended approximately 3 feet above the top support position if you are climbing off the top of the ladder. Thank you for your attention to this program. The points in this program are important for your safety and the safety of the people with whom you work. So please keep them in mind, both on the job and at home.